Check.
Am I still good? I'm assuming
Let's
I'm
go
still
ahead
good.
and do one of those numbers there. There we go. All
I love those numbers.
Those are good numbers. Are they primary numbers or?
right. Some of them are,
Okay.
not all of them.
All right. Is one a 7?
Roll the intro.
Oh, all right.
I didn't know I was going to continue off of that.
Oh, I see. So you just cut me
What?
off with that.
Easy out.
Exactly. God, excuses.
What a cheater.
I know.
I wish I was the host.
Well, then you say it, Riley.
Roll the intro.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Bitcade. First off, before we do anything else, stop. I just realized, when am I going to know I'm in frame?
You're not.
There we go. I was. Oh, God.
You dropped something.
I did. My dig.
Everything's falling apart.
You guys run a pretty loose operation, I gotta say.
That's
We
not the
try
only
to.
thing that's loose. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Bitcade. This is episode 14. My name is Ryan E. Moore. That over there is David.
Yep.
But we have a very special guest. This is the first time that we've had someone in the ever-rotating
handsome
third
boy?
chair.
Oh.
Oh, well, thanks
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
I thought,
I won't disagree with that statement.
I mean, whoa, okay, all right. There you
They
go.
might have a little thing at
There's
work
some fan
going.
fiction going on right there right now.
Uh-huh.
We let the beards intertwine.
Yeah.
Whoa. This is Riley.
Yeah, that's me.
I've known you actually in high school.
High school, yeah.
Yeah, and
I
then
had no idea.
coincidentally,
We ended up working at the same
yeah,
place.
at the same place.
Yeah. And then he quit the job because he saw that I worked there.
Yeah, it was the man bun thing that was
Oh my God.
intimidating,
Mhm.
and I was like, I can't do that.
Can't do it.
And
You
I
didn't
can't
like that I
compete.
always winked at you and I would like lean over the
Exact- dude,
tables and stuff.
I will
and
tell you, every time we were scheduled to work in like the electronics area, we got almost no work done. So, like,
It's all your fault.
I
I was
honestly,
like,
I
"Dude,
can't
we
control
should really
myself.
Be working like this is bad. Like, I just love working.
But this is the reason why we brought Riley on, because he is a hilarious guy,
Oh, wow.
and it's really cool.
Big
that you're-
shoes to fill.
Yeah, wait.
You're like bigging me up way too much. I was expecting shit, and I'm just like,
Setting up the bar here.
You're like, man, this is a great dude. I'm just coming to be like, well.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
State
so I
of the
played
Union, dude.
Pokemon one day. But yeah.
That's a lie. I didn't.
But we have got we've got some topics. We're going to talk about video game delays. We're also going to talk about some competitive gaming. We're also talking about free games
And or cheap.
for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, free games are
So,
So you
cheap
mean like the
things
games that are
that.
like 99 cents forever?
Exactly.
They're always on sale.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
basically. Yeah.
Get it while it's hot.
So let's start with our first topic. Let's do it. The first topic is video game delays. As of recent, we've gotten we've mentioned we will talk about this in another episode
A lot.
several times.
Yeah.
If you go back and listen to the old Bitcade episodes, we all say, yeah, we'll talk about this later.
Would you
This
say
is
that
later.
you delayed the conversation?
Exactly. This is why he's here. He's got the witty
The
comebacks.
boys
This is
quit.
what's happening.
I got you.
So we are, So this is we're going to talk about some video game delays, how we kind of feel about them, and kind of go with that. So right now, one of the big games that just got delayed was Red Dead Redemption 2. It was going to come out in the springtime, which was March, April, May, and then just got shoved over into October, which was expected that because we hadn't seen any trailer, any gameplay footage. Well, we saw one trailer, but like that was really not too much there. And I mean GTA got delayed too, so it was like we were waiting for the one push. And then, not to mention, like, games like Far Cry 5 got pushed, or Far 5? 6? Which one is this one?
5.
17, that one. That one got pushed too, but just 1 month in its advance. So, but I was just curious of what you guys kind of feel about the video game delays. If you think it's a good thing, or if you're like, no, I want my game now. You need to know when your game's coming out. You need it out.
I feel like I am a patient person. I feel like I waited like 6 years for a sequel to Mirror's Edge or something like that. So, now that game didn't quite turn out like I was hoping it would, but like I think for me personally, when it comes to a game being delayed, it depends on the reasons and the company who is delaying it. I trust Rockstar. Like I trust Rockstar. I don't trust like EA.
No.
Usually when EA delays a game, it's probably because there's something.
Now, did you
something's
hear
going
about?
on.
Do you hear about Anthem getting pushed?
Yeah.
So, like,
Already.
yeah,
I was
because
like,
they were like Red Dead. It was weird because like Red Dead came out and said no, we're coming out in October, and then all of a sudden Anthem's like, yeah, 2019 seems
Mhm.
about right. Like it was just
Mhm.
like waited on it.
yeah, and I don't even know how I feel. I don't know. Like I'm starting when that game was announced. You guys can even test this. 'Cause I was talking to you guys about it at work. I was hyped for this game, and now I'm not all that hyped anymore.
Oh really?
I've
Okay.
just with all the stuff EA's done,
Yeah.
and now kind of what this is. I feel like what they did with like Battlefront 2. I'm not gonna get into it, but because we all know, by at this point. But I just feel like
Yeah.
that's just gonna happen.
Star Wars Battlefront with the,
Yeah,
the
the
loot
whole
boxes.
box, yeah.
I got you.
I feel
Of
like
course I know.
yeah.
I'm him.
I feel like if you are watching us, you're up to date with like what is going on
Yeah.
with Battlefront 2
Right.
and and I'm kind of feeling like the only reason why I have any hope for this game is because it's proper BioWare.
Yeah.
You know, but I've heard that they've lost a couple people from their team. I don't remember
The
which
BioWare
ones.
team?
Yeah.
Well, I know that the people that made like Andromeda got kind of
Well, they got canned.
axed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they lost a few people there.
Well,
but
I mean, like I can't remember the guy's name or his position, but like somebody who's been with BioWare for like decades,
Mhm.
who's been like a big part of the main BioWare team. I think he was like one of the leads for the Mass Effect series. He just jumped ship, and then the game was delayed, and then
I thought he came back. I thought the guy that made,
no,
okay,
I think you're
yeah.
thinking of somebody else.
Okay.
I know who you're thinking of, and
Shut up, you're wrong.
I don't know the name off the top of my head,
I like how
But,
we have a translator now. Like
yeah.
when something needs to be like vulgarly like interpreted.
I'm right. Don't question my authority.
But yeah, I'd like it all depends on the circumstances around the delay.
Yeah.
For me, because like I said, with Red Dead, I'm not worried about it. With Anthem, yeah, I am worried about it because, I don't know. I keep losing. I'm starting to like my hype level for that game since it was revealed at E3 it's probably less than half of what it was.
What about you,
So-
Riley? Like you're a fighting game enthusiast.
Yeah.
And some fighting games have been delayed in the past.
Yeah.
So like how do you feel with like that whole situation of are you okay with it being delayed? Would you rather them just take their time with it, or are you kind of like no, you need to figure this out?
It's just like a catch-all thing. No matter what, I would rather them delay the game
Mhm.
because I'm a believer in like the mentality where it's like you rush a game out and you can never wash off the stank of
Yeah.
a bad release.
Oh, I mean, like No Man's Sky it launched
Yeah,
horribly, and
yeah,
it was
it's
like,
like a
whoa,
yeah,
hold
it's like
on.
a
It's a
completely different
different game
game
now.
now.
but like
yeah.
it's too late. Damage
Yeah.
has been done. So like
Mhm.
I feel like you should always take your time. Like even if they delay it for like, I mean I'm not saying forever, but I mean like delay it for like years and years. So be it. You know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what happened with what's that? The Shadow of the Colossus guys. They made another game. What was that called?
I can't-
Last Guardian.
Oh.
Oh, Last
Yeah.
Guardian.
Yeah, that was like a PlayStation 2 game, and then it was like, all right, well, PlayStation 3. All right, a PlayStation 4 game. Like,
Yeah,
and then it.
Mm-hmm.
That had
Yeah.
to be a drain on their expenses, though.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because, like, I'd imagine they'd had to remake everything for each generation. And
Probably,
It's
yeah.
just like, well, now we're...
Dang it!
So maybe the PlayStation 4 release wasn't so much as money. They're just
Mhm.
like, oh, well, there's no more money.
Yeah, we have to get
Now or
something out
never.
there. Yeah, yeah.
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you guys, and I don't really know anyone that's ever come up and said like, no, once you say your day, you need to come out on this day. But it's like, when a game gets delayed, for example, like I backed this this Kickstarter game.
Mighty Number 9.
No, I did not do Mighty Number 9.
Poor Quinn.
I did what you call it? I can't remember what the name is because now it's been so long. But I paid for it like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And they email us every month of like, hey, this is what we're doing. But it's like, I'm glad that they keep informing us on like
Mhm.
when a game, like what they're doing and what they're trying to get done. But it seems like there's a lot of care that's going into the game,
Mhm.
and like that's the thing about we're not video game creators, and it's like when we are you're doing your little doodles on your
Yeah, don't
Microsoft
worry about that.
Paint and stuff. Um,
It'll be big.
one of these days
I'm
you'll
I'm
release
delaying it.
spring 2019 coming out actually. But yeah, I mean like it's just those times where you're I'd rather you just take your time, finish the game. If it means like the blade of grass gets high res than the like pixelated grass that it sometimes those little details make the world for that game. And if that's the environment, if the environment is a big deal, then I'd rather them take their time, finish the environment, and like throw that in there. But you can definitely see games that get rushed, and it's like when you do your homework at like the last minute, and you're like, oh well, I mean you wouldn't know anything about this, but there's but when you're kind of just okay, here it is, instead of taking the time to like reread it over and trying to turn it in, kind of thing.
Yeah, for me, like I said, for me, it's all about the circumstances behind the delay. Most of the time, if there's a delay, I don't really care personally. So especially if I've pre-ordered the game, or if I'm like really, really wanting to get my hands on it, I'm perfectly fine with them adding more polish, getting rid of some more bugs. But like if you hear that the delay is because of some sort of like there's turmoil within the dev team or anything like that, then that's just kind of like.
That's just the weekly EA newsletter right there. Like with Amy Heading getting thrown away, and I don't even know. There's like just so many things. Man, that was kind of a short topic. I don't know.
I'm kind of like David, but like I'm even less so. Like to me, the circumstances don't really matter. I guess because maybe I'm not that much of a. I don't know. Maybe I'm not that much of a fan of a lot of things. So like, if something got like delayed indefinitely, and it's just like, well, it's just not coming out, I'll be like, well, it's just not coming out.
Just tack that one up.
I'm not too brokenhearted, so it's just like, I don't know. The circumstances don't really matter to me, and like, if I'm gonna be getting the game and I'm like stoked for it or anything, nothing's gonna stop me. I mean, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Usually I like pre-order.
I mean, I deal with customers at work that like, what do you mean this game got delayed? Like when like Ark was like the physical copy of Ark 1.0 was delayed, and we had a sign out, and people were still like, why is this game delayed? And I'm like, it's like, dude, it's like they're just.
If you're following this game,
I
don't make Ark.
I know. Well, like that's the thing. They're like, why aren't you selling this game yet? I'm like, I don't have it to sell,
We're not making it in the back of it.
Yeah.
The little programmers.
Little guy slaving over a thing, like polishing the disc. Like, no, it's not ready yet.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a weird situation with
with
that Arc thing.
Yeah, well, the thing that
same with like what was We Happy Few is also getting that same treatment of like it's being delayed because it's getting the third
backing,
party.
It's getting the backing. 2K is like
2K's
funding
taking
the
over.
money, giving them
Who
money.
who picked up Arc?
Oh, I'm talking about We Happy Few.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying
I don't think
like,
anybody picked up Arc.
How the heck did they get $60 on that game? All right.
No, that was a big controversy.
Yeah.
Remember that when it was
I know.
when it went from $30 to 60?
I think that's totally
an
fine.
official
Do
release.
you have Arc?
Fine.
Do you have Arc?
Yeah. I played it. Like I was one of the early adopters.
Yeah,
I'm a hipster with that.
Yeah, I mean you're a
That
Steam
game
person, so
that kind of sucked. I'm sorry. Like
no,
Arc
yeah,
was
I've already
fun.
talked about how
Arc
I
was
did
fun,
like
but it's kind of
$60.
stinky.
Yeah, you can actually pick up poop in that game.
It's pretty stinky. But I totally lost what I was gonna say.
It's like really stinky.
No, well,
it's not good.
Well, you were saying something like
$60.
Yeah,
you agree with the $60?
Oh yeah. So like, there's like a big gripe on that. Like it being 30 in early access and then $60 when it comes out. I think that's totally fine because I don't know. I look at it more as like you're rewarding the people who got in early, and by the end, you're delivering a more complete product. So charging more for it is totally fair in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of this thing with I mean PUBG's right now $30, and so when that comes out, if it gets slapped with a $60 tag, it's gonna. I don't know if some people might be a little turning over rocks for it, but
well, I mean, is it still $30 on PC?
Suck it up. Yeah.
Even though it's 1.0 or something now.
Yeah. Same with Xbox. Xbox
is it still considered early access even though it's 1.0?
Yeah, it's still early access.
Still.
And then Xbox is game preview. But
yeah. Okay. I thought it had been officially released on PC. I didn't think it was considered
No.
still.
Still getting those updates. I have no idea when they're gonna be like Here you
like,
go.
Be like, "Mwah."
Yeah, this is it. Here's
Masterpiece.
PUBG.
Like, it doesn't really matter. I mean, like,
At this point, it's just constant updates. Of this, I don't
Yeah.
really know.
Speaking of PUBG, did you hear the rumors about Red
Are we-
Dead 2 getting battle royale
Oh
mode?
yeah, that's a very. I feel like that's an
That's
IGN
strange.
rumor of like it started there because I heard it on one of their podcasts and I was
Yeah.
like, wait, what? And then it kind of just
Yeah.
got glossed over, and now I'm hearing it more. So is that?
I think it's I don't know. Like I think it would fit the setting. I don't think
Would
you're
it?
gonna- if
100-player
I've
cowboys
heard-
running around? Like, how are they gonna drop off into that?
No,
like
I
in a
think
hot
you
air
just-
balloon? They're
no, I
flying
think you'll
over.
probably just ride in on a horse and be like, here you go, basically.
It's a wagon,
you
and everybody hops off the wagon.
Yeah, it's a
In the
train.
sky.
No,
Yeah.
it's on the ground.
Yeah, no,
Oh, it's on the
They
ground.
just like tuck and roll out. It's like this really long like stretch.
But it's
stretch
just this
wagon.
road. It's not
Yeah.
even like a.
Yeah, it's just off, no, it's just off the train. It just cuts through the map.
Oh,
Everybody
okay.
just,
Oh,
like,
dude,
jumps
there you
off.
go. That's
Everybody
it.
just like jumps off when they
David,
want.
they should hire you.
That's why they needed the delay. They're waiting for this video to come out so that.
Yeah.
They're gonna nab this idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
hmm
Patent pending.
I mean, because like it felt because back then, because I used to play the first Red Dead Online, and
Yeah, yeah.
quite often, and like I think I mentioned in a previous video, like the first thing I would do is I would go get the Mauser pistol because that was the best PvP weapon because it was automatic, like 10 or 12 shot pistol that would just dominate people in PvP because if people, and then you go get the
Pure
PvE
whore.
weapon, because like if somebody jumps you, you just switch to that, you just pop,
Yeah.
and they're gone,
pop,
and
pop,
it just kind of.
Pop pop.
It kind of already had that mentality
Yeah,
behind it,
yeah.
to where like you were kind of always had to watch your back because even if you're just doing PVE stuff, like somebody's just gonna roll up on you, and having that pistol was nice because nobody ever expected it.
No one rolls up
They'll-
on David.
Is that a
No.
shirt?
Yeah.
No one rolls up on David.
No one rolls up on David. I got my Mauser pistol. I'm ready to go.
Okay, locked and loaded.
Yeah, so I guess to wrap things up, last minute things. Any last minute things on video game delays?
Well, I think I just
Final thoughts, if you
Yeah.
will.
Final thoughts, yeah.
I don't know. I
Take
still
me over
yeah.
this
For me,
Look at me.
yeah, like for me, like I said, it's all about for me the circumstances. If a game gets delayed to a point to where it just doesn't get released, and I was excited for it, yeah, I'm gonna be disappointed. But if
Life moves on.
yeah, like I
Like
mean,
a train
like I
in Red
In a
Dead
desert.
Redemption. Look, full circle.
Beautiful. It's almost like we planned it.
Exactly.
but again, if there's controversy behind the delay, like the people on the team are leaving or stuff like that, then I get less excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I should have seen the warning flags with Andromeda, but I was too blinded by a new Mass Effect game to really.
I just realized like one of your Mass Effect things is like tipped over.
Oh, that's because
Looks
he's-
like a door knocker.
this guy,
Yeah.
the Archon. Yeah, it's because he's too top heavy, and so if he stands on his feet start to bend, and then he'll fall. Over. It's the
Wow.
same thing with Diva over there. Diva's laying on her back because if I stand tight, they're not balanced right.
Can you please not say that? Diva's laying on her back.
Over there.
Over there. Whoa, you guys
But
can
you
see this.
use your imagination though. Riley, any last minute things?
No, delay your games. Take forever.
Take forever.
I mean,
Take your
yeah,
time.
If the
Give me
game,
a good
if the,
game.
Time.
Yeah, if the game comes out better for it,
If it
I'm
comes out-
all for it.
Yeah, it's like the Nintendo thing where like they put so much care into things, they want it to come out perfect,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like that's like a thing that just isn't a thing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
No,
So-
I will 100% agree.
They're just
with
like,
that.
we'll
yeah.
fix it later. Just slap a couple band-aids on it. We're
Yeah,
good." So,
$60.
like,
here
Update
you
it later.
go.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like I'd rather them just deliver a complete game and then just call it good there.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of like
People need
I
to be more patient. That's all.
I got
Oh, they're not.
I talked about
Yeah.
I think last episode about like me getting WWE 2K or wanting to get WWE 2K18 for the Switch
mm-hmm.
because it got so delayed because I wanted it portable, and last time it was portable it was on the PSP, so I wanted
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and then all of a sudden I was like, all right, I'm gonna look up the reviews before I go and get it, and then all of a sudden everyone's talking about how like it's so buggy and like frames drop, and I'm like, ugh,
So you bought the
yikes.
deluxe edition.
No, yeah, exactly. I just spent $90. But that game came out like almost a month later, and then the Twitter handle of WWE 2K didn't even like announce it until like 3 days before the game came out, and it was like, whoa, okay, this is not good. And, like I don't know if they were trying to push it so that it would be out before 2018 or anything, but
Holiday
was-
season probably.
yeah, but it was not good. Not good.
Mm.
Yeah,
Darn.
take your time. Take your time, developers.
Us gamers will understand it and appreciate it, but
Us
like
gamers.
the just like the
Don't label me, David.
it's just like I said, I deal with a lot of customers at work that just don't follow gaming at all, and they don't understand it, and it can be frustrating because
Well, it's
you
just
know.
like it blows my mind that happens, because it's like the reason why they delay it is probably because they're still working on it.
Yeah.
Like it's like not that hard of a concept to grasp.
Right.
And it's not just
No. Yeah.
it's not just like
I spent
games.
my hard-earned money
That's
to pay
like-
for it right now.
That's like, it's like going to a restaurant and then they're like taking a while on your steak or whatever, and it's like, why is it still taking so long? They're still cooking it, dude. Like, I gotta bring it out here raw. Come on now. Like, yeah,
That's a good analogy.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you,
is a good
Riley.
analogy.
Thank you, Riley.
that's why you guys brought me here.
Exactly.
My analogies.
We're moving on
Don't startle me.
to our second topic. This is your topic.
It is. So I'm not a competitive game player. I don't play comp in anything. Even though I play games that are competitive, I'm not competitive in them. But I have a friend who's really competitive in AFPSs, which is one of the smallest competitive.
It's a
like,
very niche scene.
It's a really
very
small
niche.
scene.
So if you were, could you like elevator pitch what a AFPS is?
It's like Quake. It's like an arena first-person shooter. So, but they're like really specific, like everyone who's a big fan of anything is. So it's like, is this an AFPS? It's technically blah, 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 but it's like, no, it's not. They're like really specific. It's like usually, it's got your rocket launchers and your rail guns, and you got to run around and pick up the armor and the mega health and blah, blah, blah. And, it's just like Quake 1 stuff.
Classic
Stuff.
like Quake.
But the big one he plays is Reflex, which he's trying to grow the scene on that because I've played it quite a bit, like, I don't know, maybe 75 hours, and it's really good.
Oh, quite a bit.
Quite a bit. Well,
just a little bit.
just a little bit. It's mainly because he's like, yo, I need someone to play with because there's only 3 people online and they're all from Europe and the connection's awful. So I'm like, all right, I'll play with you. And then he just crushes me and I'm just like, well, this was fun.
All right. I'll just go cry tonight. I didn't have anything else better to
He's
do.
like, you did good, champ. You'll get him next time. I'm just like, thanks, Dad. But so he plays Reflex a lot, but I mean, he kind of plays them all because they're kind of like interchangeable. Like, I think the big one is Quake Champions. That's the newest one coming out.
Yeah.
But they're all interchangeable. Like, if you're good at one, you're probably going to be good at all of them. But Reflex is the big one. And, but yeah, there's like no people playing most of those games. Even Quake Champions isn't really that. I mean, like, when there's like a free weekend or whatever, there's like a bunch of people playing it. But like,
And that's still in beta, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's been in beta for like a while, like a year at least. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a minute, but yeah. So, but like, even with like the fighting games, because that's the thing I know more about. Like, it's already like a small scene. I mean, it's not like nearly as bad as AFPSs, but it's not like, I feel nearly as big as some of the other ones. Like, I don't know, the MOBA scene. Probably.
Well, like Evo has started to like kind of rise up.
Yeah,
a
they were
little
at
bit.
Mandalay Bay last year.
Yeah, and when like what was crazy was like I've watched like that was on ESPN 1 year, like probably like 2 years ago, and my dad and I watched like the Evo championship, and I was like, this is crazy how this is like on TV right now.
Yeah, that was surreal, and it was also really cool because there was like one American. He got like this crazy big standing ovation against these like the 7 Japanese. It was like a Rocky movie. I like so wanted him to conquer them and him deliver like some pro-America speech. But, no, it didn't happen. He got 7th. He beat one person though. So
Hey, there you go. He didn't get last.
But yeah, so like it is getting bigger. Like fighting games are getting bigger. I actually think that there's gonna be a huge surge because. So I don't know if you guys ever heard of the game Rising Thunder.
Is that the mech one?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a mech fighting game.
It won
So-
It won a game of the year, or no, it was nominated for something like a couple years ago.
Yeah. So what it's like trying to do is like essentially make fighting games more accessible. So as opposed to having inputs, it has buttons So like it's kind of like skills, like in a MOBA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So like you'll use your special like a Hadouken or whatever
Mhm.
it may be, and then it goes on cooldown, and you have to wait till the
Oh,
cooldown's up,
okay.
and then that kind of stuff. So it's kind of lowering the barrier of entry for fighting games to kind of create like a middle ground from like Tekken, Street Fighter, where like you have to learn all your combos
All
and
the
stuff like that.
combos, all the counters.
So is
like,
it kind
all
of
the-
like I don't know
frame
if
by
you've
frame.
played the Mortal Kombat X thing, but is it kind of like that where is it Mortal Kombat or Injustice? Or one of the two that
mean
have
the
like
mobile
that
one?
meter, and then like you can like hit Y to get the super one, or you can get the hit X to use like the middle one or something.
Oh, that's that's MKX. Yeah,
Okay,
they
yeah.
do that.
Is it kind of like that, or is it this is
No,
like
it's
totally
just,
different?
It's straight up like a MOBA, like
a fighting
you have,
game that plays like a MOBA.
Huh,
Yeah,
that's
you have like
You're-
skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I get it.
you have
Okay,
skills, and
yeah.
they just go
Yeah.
on cooldown. And obviously, like the better ones are gonna have longer cooldowns, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really well received. I mean, they stopped work on it, and the reason why is because it got bought out by Riot. Fun fact, bringing the MOBAs in.
Oh.
So I'm
okay.
calling it. They're gonna make a League of Legends themed fighting game that's gonna play.
All
like
right,
Rising
date this.
Thunders. I'm calling
Date this
it right
video
now.
right now.
Babe Ruth pointing at the. But
Is this like a steak dinner bet? Is this a steak dinner bet?
yeah, I'll bet you
Okay.
guys stick to it.
All right. How
I'll
about
do it.
this? I'll take you up on it.
Okay.
All right. So
Okay.
so when are we seeing?
Oh, dude, it's gonna be a long time. I knowing Riot, they're just gonna sit on it for a bit. But I mean, at the same time, fighting games are getting bigger anyway.
Yeah.
Just bigger and bigger. Like Dragon Ball FighterZ was the biggest release, but I think that's just because of the brand property of or the brand power
Yeah.
of Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Like it could.
And it looks like Dragon Ball.
It looks like
unlike
it's the greatest looking Dragon
Yeah,
Ball game
'cause
I've ever
unlike
seen.
what
I'm not even a big
Xenoverse-
fan, but I'm into it. I'm like, yeah.
I saw it at PAX and I was like, man, it's
looks
crazy
like
how that
anime.
fan base is. Like how so many people love it still, and like I mean, it kind of got a revive a little bit, right? Like
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
new series and everything, but it's still like so many people love that. It's kind of like I don't want to relate it too much like Pokemon, but there's that fan base.
It's
There's
a culture
that
thing.
fan
Yeah,
base.
It's definitely like it's like a freaking movement. So the
Yeah.
fact that it came out and it was as good as it was, and it was like polished and looked like Dragon Ball and all that crap. I mean,
Yeah.
it.
It's like
totally
South
helped.
Park Stick of Truth, where it's like it looks like
Yeah.
you're watching the
Mhm.
cartoon,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like this is it.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think that fighting games are going to be growing. There's actually like, so the big controversy right now, as of time of recording this, is they announced the Evo lineup. So the main games that are going to be on stage, or not on stage, but like streamed for the weekend.
Mhm.
They're all going to be there, obviously, because there's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
like side things, but like on the mainstream and stuff. And
The one that will probably be on ESPN.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
what
and so Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is not listed.
Oh,
But there are my problem is that there's two Smash games. They have Melee and Smash 4. And my problem
I didn't
is,
even know Smash 4 was like a following.
yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's really broken apparently, but I don't know. I don't play it, so don't ask me.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just like I would rather them pick one or the other for those, and then always have a spot. Maybe not for Marvel per se. I'm a big Marvel fan. I didn't like Infinite that much, but
Mhm.
like I still think it deserves to be there just because it's always been there. But that's just me.
Yeah.
I'm not too brokenhearted. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. But yeah, so I think what a cool thing that they should do is like for Evo is to like, I don't know, maybe try to get eyes on some of the smaller things, because the problem is that they're only playing like the big titles, and that sucks because, for instance, let's say a new game comes out and like it could have a big following because it's a good game and it's beautiful, whatever, but they just don't show it on stream.
Yeah.
I feel like that's your time to grow the scene. You show as many games as you can. Like the example I always use is the year Skullgirls came out. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah,
I know
Skullgirls.
Skullgirls,
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of free games, because it's always like $2.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's
Um,
always on PlayStation Plus. I
yeah.
swear that thing's been on PlayStation Plus like 5 or 6 times.
Right.
Mm.
So it's the year it came out, it wasn't on the main stream, and it was just like, well, let's watch all these old games that people were still playing. This was back when like they were still playing Marvel vs. Capcom 3 like whatever, like years later, and that's fine. I mean, like it's like one of the stalwarts of Evo, so
Mhm.
like obviously it deserves to be there. But like we had 2 Smashes then. And
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like, it's like, all right, well, cool.
You're
this game-
taking up a spot where you
Yeah.
can easily try to have some other game that could
Yeah.
get some light shine on themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's what Evo should be. It should be for the people, not so much the players.
Yeah.
It should be like
Or
trying to grow the scene.
The industry, the money is not where it should probably be found. But
And I mean, it's just one of those things that like so essentially. You end up with a game that's dead on arrival.
So why was Dragon Ball not selected? Was it selected?
It is. Yeah.
So that's gonna be on the stage.
Yeah. So the big games, there's like 8 of them.
Okay.
It's Smash, the 2 Smashes, Street Fighter 5, Dragon Ball, Injustice 2,
Okay.
and then the new BlazBlue, like Chrono Phantasm or whatever, and then Guilty Gear.
Okay.
So like it's got all
those,
like,
those are some big names. Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I think that you should definitely like they should set aside like a couple of the games, and there should be like, all right, look, these should be like the new games that came out this year, and like try to grow the scene for those games and try to get eyes on them, because like at the end of the day, the more you grow your scene, the more people that are going to be into it, and then you're just going to have like this.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like. I mean, there's not. I don't know if you guys watched the Super Bowl this year, but I mean, I didn't really much either. I was working, but whatever. When I was watching it, I was like, there was commercials of the NFL, and I was like, wait, so you could easily be advertising like another thing. And you chose to advertise yourselves, and so that's what it's kind of reminding of like it's like if you were watching WrestleMania and then all of a sudden they're like, tune in for Monday Night Raw, and it's like, wait, I already know Raw exists. Like you don't need to like advertise.
Like
it
the people that are already watching know.
Yeah.
About the NFL.
Did you know that football exists?
Guys,
wait, what? I turned to ABC for what?
At the same time, for like football, especially like the Super Bowl, where it's like people who don't even watch football watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I can see the argument there.
But there were so many. But yeah,
but I get what you're saying.
That's what kind of reminds me of. Is like of that same thing of like you could easily have filled in that gap for even business purposes. Like you could easily have filled in that gap for advertisement purposes, but you like just didn't want to because of. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just an interesting thing to think about. But I mean, like competitive gaming in general. I know we watched Smite for a while. That was kind of a thing.
Back when we were playing,
where money was being lit on fire. But yeah, no, it was that was what we watched, and I remember watching that. I remember even when League of Legends was starting to get that big build up of I was watching League every so often. I've been to a League of Legends North American regional game, which I was like, this is weird, like, because I don't know what's happening, and everyone is excited. Because it was at PAX, and I was like, I'll watch. And then
I was there that year, and then like they had like the stream set up and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and was like, I'll watch a game.
Yeah, exactly. And there's this long line, and it's like, wait, what's this long line for? And they're like, oh, it's just to go sit. You don't actually play the game. You can go play the game over there, and there's like no one over there. And I was like. But yeah, it was. I watched a few, and it's definitely entertaining to watch and like to be in that environment. And but yeah, it's. I guess, like, and the other thing is like you learn how to play those games by watching those pro players play.
Here's a fun thing I can
fun
talk
little
about
tidbit.
Fun little tidbit. So last year, you know how they had Street Fighter 5, like the grand finals were on ESPN. And all that kind of stuff. They actually changed the announcers for the ESPN show versus the Twitch stream, and the people that were doing the ESPN show were doing a very like beginner friendly like, so what he's doing now. But
as they're reading up of their hand,
but
he's it blurred.
Yeah.
Sorry, my Sharpie kind of smeared here.
Yeah, but I was like, that's perfect. Like, they should totally have like, if you're gonna go for like the wide appeal, then you should have someone that's gonna be like, all right, idiots, listen up. I'll learn you something.
They're John Madden of announcers.
Exactly. No, John Madden over-explained. Here you got a fighter. Here you got another fighter, and what they're gonna do is they're gonna fight each other in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's
Boom.
like-
That's it.
He's like circling the screen in the middle and everything.
Are
Yeah.
there drawings?
so
Do they
into that.
draw the
No,
screen?
no,
and
no. I would be so into that if they did though.
Replay, pause, replay.
So hold on just a
slow
second.
motion.
If we just scroll back here, it's just like
if you cut
panning
right
back.
to frame 16.
Yes,
you
let's
can see
just
that-
take a look here.
that they
Zoom in.
noticed.
You can see right in the background. There's a
pixel.
dead pixel.
Unbelievable. Don't buy this game.
Yeah.
Scene
Yeah.
dead. Yeah,
Street
no.
Fighter 5 unplayable. There
Yeah,
you go.
confirmed. Yeah, so like I was like, that's perfect. Like they should totally, if you're gonna try to grow the scene, is just have like, hey, this is how the game, what they're doing, and this is why it's so impressive, you know? Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of things when you watch any competitive thing ever, you know, like not just games, like sports and stuff like that. There's a lot of things that you wouldn't recognize are like things that they're thinking about, you know?
I think what kind of that the issue of why they probably can't do that right now is since everyone is still playing, there's no like retired gamers yet. There's none like because when you look back
There
at like
is.
sport, well, I mean like. Do they bring them on like how they do with like
A lot of
like
the
baseball
announcers are-
games where they'll bring on like an old baseball
Right, I see
player
what you're
and then
saying.
a journalist and then there's this combination
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
people.
I mean, that's just it. It's like you. When are you gonna really retire from gaming? You
Yeah,
know?
that's
it's
true.
not like it's like it's a
Yeah.
It's like
I'm
oh,
sorry, I got carpal tunnel. Like it ain't gonna
body
work
don't
out.
move like
Well, I
it
mean,
used to.
it's I mean,
just like just crunching your hand.
yeah, well, I mean, it's like there's that one team that plays Counter Strike. They play
Yeah,
Counter-Strike.
yeah,
They're-
yeah.
What, the Silver
The
Foxes?
Silver Foxes.
Yeah.
What? They're a bunch of
They're a
old
pro-
geriatric
yeah.
folk.
Yeah, they're like what 70
I
plus.
think
it's
they're
a
all
team
like
of
60, 50 plus.
60
Yeah,
yeah.
Nice.
of-
And they're the Silver Foxes.
yeah, they're called the Silver Foxes, and they play
Nice.
CS:GO competitively.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
I'm like all about that.
I mean,
but yeah, it's sorry, but like that's kind of what I'm saying. Is
Yeah,
like that is
well-
where what I like where for example when you watch like the college football game day
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah, yeah.
you know they have like Lee Corso who's an old he is old, but he's a college football coach, and
is
like
that
you
the
have
guy
this
who, like, every time he
other
talks,
people.
You think his dentures are gonna fly out?
I
Like
mean,
chattering.
Is that the guy?
Dude, I love
it's
that
not
guy.
even cold out here.
Sounds like a skeleton.
No, but there's but yeah, there's I think until we get to that point of like there's not just shoutcasters.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not
Right.
just this
There's, like,
there's
analysts.
commentators. Yeah, and
Well, yeah, that's something that I feel like the MOBA competitive scene does really well is they have like analysts that'll be like break down like kind of like play by play what everyone's doing in like a team fight or
Mhm.
whatever, and they like analyze and they're explaining like, well, he was doing this and he was doing that, and it's just like, all right, cool, because like obviously even if you play, let's say you play League or whatever, you don't understand why they did certain things that they did unless you're like at that level. You know?
Yeah.
Like you've played like
why did
hours
that
and
guy
hours.
just go into the jungle and then just pop out of nowhere? Like
Yeah.
what was the whole and
So-
skanking.
so like exactly like just explaining stuff, and like that's how you grow a scene. I mean, it's kind of baby and pandering, and like you know maybe it makes for a less interesting stream, but like that's why I thought it worked that they had two different people announcing on each thing, because then it's just like, all right, there's the hardcore fans that are going to want to hear this shoutcaster, and then there's
Yeah.
some people who are just like turned to ESPN, they're like, this isn't football.
What are they doing?
Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at, is just like, you know, there are ways to grow a competitive scene, but I don't know, I feel like we're gonna have a huge explosion in fighting games, but like my friend, he's just stuck in AFPSs, and I don't think that's gonna grow.
One day.
'Cause, like, Quake Champions.
I mean, Quake and all them, like they were the heyday, like back in the
Yeah.
mid
Quake
'90s.
is still played as an esport.
It is.
Well,
It's
it
just
is,
it's
it's just-
very
it's-
very small.
Yeah.
It's a
Yes,
very
very
small community, but I mean, back I remember growing up, like that was the game to play. I never had a computer that could play it,
Yeah.
but that was the game was
Yeah.
Quake.
Yeah, I think that maybe like when Bethesda finally takes that thing out of beta, it
Even
might.
then,
I don't know.
it's not. I don't feel like it's gathering that much.
Is it
steam.
ever gonna come to console, or is it always just gonna stick
Is-
on?
well,
I don't
after
know.
they
PC.
implement,
That'd be
you know,
weird to
af-
play an AFPS. Okay, I'm just saying. Have you ever watched someone play an AFPS? Their mouse sensitivity.
Yeah, it's
and
like
they're like
whoosh,
whipping around.
whoosh.
It's like play that on a controller. It's like, yeah, no. See, my friend's really weird because so he plays like he sets the keyboard on his lap.
Okay.
And then he has his mouse, and like he has like this long mouse pad. And
Oh
he
my-
just, like he like sweeps, and I'm just like, oh man.
What?
He's got a really jacked right arm. I'll tell you that.
But he can throw a wicked curveball.
Exactly. Yeah.
Any final thoughts on it, or anything else you would like to talk about?
No, but
Nothing
the
off the top
League
of
of
my head,
Legends Rising Thunder crossover is gonna be big.
Yeah, steak dinner.
A steak dinner. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, all right, we gotta put a year on it. 2020.
I'm not putting a year on it.
You gotta do it in
that's a
order for
load
me
of
to
goose
bet.
fun.
You can't just infinite
Okay,
amount.
so wait,
look,
are
look,
we
look.
talking about announcement or game release?
Let's go with
And what is
announcement
the bet even?
first.
Is it that I'm right and that's the concept?
Yes,
Yeah.
that
Okay.
you'd be
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That
yeah.
Riot has to come out and go, yes, we have teamed up with.
Well, no. That's already known.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
then fine, you almost got a free secret. That they're announcing that they have got
Well,
like
they're gonna
the
change,
game.
They're
Here's
gonna
the
change
game.
the game from the game's
Yeah.
characters to League of Legends.
Yeah, they've
yeah.
officially it is a League of Legends fighting game. Like
Yeah,
as
yeah.
soon as
Yeah,
Riot
okay, I
says
see what
those
you're saying.
words,
Yeah.
then that's
fair.
the win.
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll take that.
but it has to be like
A
it
League of
has to put
Legends?
it has to put a year on it at least.
All right. If it's not out by 2020.
Okay,
All right.
So
all
we're
right.
going by.
All right, there it is. It's official. It's
So
official.
we're
I owe
going
you.
by release and not announcement.
Yeah, just as long as we know what the concept is.
It has to
Once-
just be it just has to
once
be
we
said
hear- yeah.
that the League of Legends
Yeah.
fighting game
I'm calling it. though, 'cause
2020.
It's
By
gonna happen.
2020,
and
okay.
it's
That's
gonna get
2
all these
years.
people-
Mm-hmm.
It's on the board right here.
It's on the books. in
That's
the
right.
books.
And
All
then wherever we are,
Yeah, I know,
I
I'll
have
be
to
in, like,
contact you.
I'm in another continent, and I'll have to fly back when I'm right.
And I'll buy you a great steak at
Can I-
Applebee's.
No, it's my choice. Same
What?
with you. Same with you.
Okay, all right, fine. All right,
It's
fine.
you.
No,
fine.
go just
Winner's
PayPal
choice.
you that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Venmo
However
me
that
Pay-
much is.
PayPal me
Yeah.
the bill.
Here's $20.
There you go.
Have fun
I'm
with
just like-
steak.
Just eating dinner by myself. I'm just like, oh, this is free though.
Are you, sir? I see you ordered the 17-ounce steak. Are you celebrating anything? Yes, I am.
I won a bet.
Alone though.
Just being correct, you know. That's all.
This is what happens when you're right.
Winners. That's all I'm saying.
We're moving on to the third and final topic. We're zipping by, man.
We're actually like staying.
Yeah, we're on schedule.
we're
Let's
on
keep it that way.
schedule.
That's why you guys brought me here.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
Keep it. Yeah,
professionalism.
exactly. That's what.
That's
That's,
me.
it. Yeah. Yeah. Who knows?
Um,
Maybe come back. I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
We gotta get through this third
I
topic.
haven't
We'll figure
enjoyed
that
my
out.
time this far. David's really got to turn it around.
I know. I don't know
No
what he's
pressure,
doing.
David. Don't look at me like that.
I was gonna say, because like for the audio version, you ever listen to an audio podcast that all of a sudden they're just quiet,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to go,
Is it on? Is
did
it going?
my phone
Are
go
we
off?"
buffering?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
like-
buffering?
I think you should totally just add like 15 seconds of dead silence.
So what if I
randomly.
just started doing? Dang it.
Sorry.
We'll do it one of these days.
Yeah.
David, what is the last topic?
So last topic is about just kind of having too many games available at either very cheap or free, and just about how our gaming libraries have just accumulated hundreds of
Yeah.
games that are
Those
just
300 Steam games didn't just appear there overnight. So.
yeah, that are just there, and
Years of work.
just kind of
Years
your thoughts on it.
away.
Is this a good, is this something that you guys are okay with? Just having all of these games? Like, are you ever gonna
Yeah,
play?
I don't. Wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
No.
because like we have Steam, so it's like.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna play even half of the games in my library because I have like close to 1,000, and
Yeah.
it's like I like having them
Mhm.
there because like a lot of them I did buy with the intention of playing.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe I'll just be feeling it one day, and I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah. I'm
That's
gonna
kind of the
play
thought I
this.
have
Yeah,
in my mind.
like,
Because when I,
Yeah.
no, like I did the I have Humble Bundle monthly.
Right.
So like
Yeah,
every month I'm getting like, here's all your Steam codes, and I'm like, great. I don't know what half these games are. Like,
yeah.
oh,
but, like,
Dark Souls 3 that I'll probably play sometime in the future. I don't know, maybe.
Dark
Well, I
Souls
mean,
3?
I've never
you
played it,
get
though.
all of these.
I have
well,
2.
mean,
3 is this month.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it's like
Yeah,
you get
think
all of
about
these
it.
options: PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live
Oh, yeah.
Gold, Steam sales, the sales from Xbox and PlayStation, Humble Bundle. There's so many ways to get games for like under $10. Like I have so many games on my Xbox that go on sale because they're like $5, and I'm like, sure, why
Yeah,
not? We'll see.
yeah.
Maybe I'll want
Yeah.
to play, whatever game.
Could I also make the argument?
Catherine,
Could I also make the argument that you might be a bit of a collector?
Maybe.
Well,
that might be a thing.
I have an inkling of a sniff of a hint that you might be a collector.
No, I disagree with this. I do not have a problem.
Sorry to put you on blast like that. I didn't mean
I'm not currently waiting for many, many things already.
Yeah, no, of course not. Yeah. No, I think it's funny because that you talk about that because like I was saying, there's so many games that like are almost permanently on sale.
Yeah.
That it's just like, why not just make that the new price?
Yeah.
Like I was talking about Skullgirls, for instance. It's always on any website you can find it for like $2.
Yeah.
Year round.
Year round.
Just make that the price. Be like, all right, guys, look, it's on us. $2.
It's kind of the same thing with like I hate the fact that, well, I mean, it's more of like buying it used, or I guess, or on as a CD key or something like that. But like Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2 are still stupidly priced way too damn high,
Yeah,
and it irritates me so much.
Don't get me
for Left 4
started on
Dead
things
2.
that are like
Each $20 each. That's
Portal's
$40
like that
for
too.
both those
Portal's
stupid
like that
games.
too.
Portal's like that too.
Yeah.
Another bad one is all of the Call of Duty.
That's true. Every Call of Duty stays the same.
Like Modern Warfare 1, like the classic
Pokemon.
one is still
Oh,
like
Pokemon
World
does
War
$2.
II, Call of Duty World War II or World at War
World at War.
is
Yeah, it's
freaking
still
like
$30. or
yeah,
something.
exactly,
You're like,
on
come
Steam.
dude.
Yeah. Pokemon's the same way.
Yeah,
It's just absurd.
yeah. I was gonna make an argument of that, but I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Don't play favorites.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay for Pokemon.
Yeah,
though.
Pokemon stays the same. It's the same freaking
Come on,
game.
dude. What do you hate children?
Oh god.
But no, I mean it's like I've got like 200 games just for my Xbox.
Yeah, I'm
my
pretty
hard
close
drive.
to that too.
And it's just like since I've got my PlayStation, I rarely play my Xbox anyways. I still go on there and get like the games, the free ones and all that. And I look at the sale every week just to see, but it's just, and now it's starting to get that way on my PlayStation. I just picked up an external hard drive for my PlayStation because my 1 terabyte is now full.
Jeez.
And I have all these games now that's just like, what am I going to do with them? I don't even have the time to play all these.
Yeah. Well, it also creates another problem when you have such a huge library. And I feel like a lot of people struggle with this, not, like I said, not just games, but it's like when you have so many things to choose from, it's almost crippling. Like the amount of like choices, like how many times you're like, oh, let's watch a movie with your significant other, whatever. And then you're just like sitting on the thing, you guys browse Netflix for like an hour and a half.
No.
And then you're like, all
that
right,
has
well, we
been
just
done
watched
here.
the full movie.
Yeah,
It's just like-
there we go. It's called
know.
Netflix.
No, that's literally Rebecca and I have done that. We're like, all right, we'll order
It
pizza and watch a movie, and then we flip through Netflix for like a half an hour trying to figure out what do you
That's
want
why I
to watch.
just-
And then we just, all right, Office, there we go.
Yeah.
Default, right?
Yeah.
Office,
See,
you know.
when it comes when it comes to movies, because like I can talk about movies because I would actually say that I spend more time watching movies than playing games.
I've
Like,
heard your rants
Yeah.
that are wrong, but go ahead.
It's fine. It's fine. You can be wrong too. It's okay. But yeah, like I've tracked and I've been tracking how many movies I've watched in like my lifetime, and I'm like close to like 1,200 or something like that.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, but that's like over my entire life.
Yeah,
and that's also
I
counting
don't
like
even
shitty like Disney.
Hey, I
Disney
wouldn't say
Channel.
those are shitty.
Like
I don't know,
my
have
day,
you
They're
seen-
called
My Day with the
classics.
President's
I
Daughter.
don't know.
My
Have you
dude.
seen Aladdin 2?
Oh, that's gold. Don't even start.
Aladdin 2, straight to VHS.
I was
Dude,
talking about
that was a weird time of the 90s where they just were making sequels of
things that came out like 15 years ago. You're like,
Little
"You guys are
Mermaid 2 and 3.
coming out back to back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Here's Hercules, the series.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like yeah, so it creates this thing where it's just like really crippling. You don't know what to do. But for me, at least with movies, is like I just literally grab the first one that grabs my attention even slightly. A lot of
Same.
people are like, oh, this one looks good, and they like breeze past it. But it's like it's a movie. Like throw it on. If you're not feeling it halfway through, you just wasted 30 minutes as opposed to like
Flipping
sitting
through
here
all
for,
these.
like wasting 2 hours. And it's like at the end of the day, even if it's a shitty movie, you just spend 2 hours watching it. Like you get back to your life. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, that's the thing
But
with games.
with games, it's different.
Yeah,
I-
you're
yeah,
like
it's
you have to
you
play
have
an
to be-
hour
you
in order
have
to
be
get invested.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I haven't started playing like Persona. I haven't picked up Persona 5 in a while because like when I started up, I know it's like, well, do I have 5 hours
It becomes
to
an
dedicate
ordeal.
to this
Yeah.
thing? And
Yeah.
it's like, I'll just put on Overwatch and play a couple things.
Yeah,
and-
that's
You
the
know?
thing. It's like when you have such a huge library, I find myself usually defaulting back to games that I can hop in and play for a little bit.
Mhm.
Like I have countless hours. Like I think it's in like the 400s of Binding of Isaac, just because it's so easy to just hop in and play a run.
It's a great game.
And it's so easy to just hop in, play a run, and then be like, all right, well now I can be done with this.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
as opposed to like, you know, I want to play some like long, arduous RPG or whatever, and I'm just like, oh man, I have to like take my pants off and I have to get comfortable. And I have to
Excuse me?
Listen,
Taking your pants off is mandatory for a
It is.
JRPG.
Oh,
it's
okay.
true. Yeah. If you ever read the back of the box.
Yeah.
It says it's mandatory.
Yeah, right.
If you get caught,
What's
police
the
freaking
rating?
arrest you. No. I'm just saying, like, you gotta get comfortable. You're gonna be here for a bit. You gotta
Well,
get
no,
comfortable.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
like
I know
it-
those dating sims.
Yeah, well, I
Listen,
mean, like,
just
you-
because half of my Steam library is those. Angels with
Just
Scaly Wings
because
is the
I can
greatest game
date
of all time.
doves in my game.
No. Angels with Scaly Wings, dude. That's the one.
Oh my god.
That's actually a good game.
But
I've
no,
beaten it
it's that, like you hit it on the nail for me with like the RPGs because like I got Final Fantasy 15 for Christmas and I really want to play it, but I just haven't had the drive to because I know like once I start, I know it's a Final Fantasy game. Like the first like 6 hours is just like tutorial mode, and I just am like,
What Final
no.
Fantasy was it? I think it was before the 15. Wait, no, 14 was the online one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the one? Is it Lightning?
13 is
Yeah,
Lightning.
no, but like there's one that's like you'll play and you wouldn't have left the tutorial until like about 10 hours in the gameplay.
That's absurd.
or something
I-
ridiculous.
If I remember right, the tutorial for 13.2 was really long
Yeah, I think it
because
might be it
you 13.2 starts
or
with,
the
like,
Return of Lightning or whatever that one was.
I haven't played 13.3 Lightning Returns. I haven't
Yeah,
played that
it's not-
one.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I know 13.2's tutorial was a little long. But now we're getting a little off topic.
I just
'cause
remember.
Oh, we're still on it?
Hold on. There's a really funny story that I heard about the Final Fantasy with Lightning in it, where it's like someone was like, "Yeah, it gets really good in like 40 hours," and it's like, so I had to go through
40 hours.
40 hours of like
How
garbage?
patient is that human being of where like I'm gonna play 40 hours
It'll
of this
get good
game?
eventually in 30 hours. And like I would have given up after like 2 hours. And like, all right, this is it.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm not getting, like who's sitting there like hour 30 be like, maybe they can turn it around. They still got time. Like, that's what blows my mind. Just like, come on, respect yourself. Be like, look, my time is worth more than this.
But that's
Yeah.
exactly the thing. It's like when you're buying all these games or you're getting all these games for free, like half of the Xbox Live games for gold are crap. Like they're not very
Listen.
good.
unless they're old.
Yeah, and then but okay,
Or
so
the-
the
or-
minus the 360 games,
Right.
the Xbox One games,
I would say
half of those are like
that's
not
something
good.
you would
Yeah, I would never
will-
pay money
yeah,
for this
I'll
game,
agree
but
that's
to
why they're
that.
free.
The only time
Exactly.
when I ever see like a decent Xbox One game come on sale or be for free is usually when the sequel is coming out. So
Okay,
they'll
I
be
guess
like,
that's true too.
play this one for free and then go buy the new one.
Yeah,
basically, next
yeah.
month.
I mean, that's how I got Forza Horizon too. So, I guess it's
So,
whatever.
yeah.
But
What do you
yeah,
think of Forza?
I love 3. It's really great.
play
Horizon,
car games, so I was just
Horizon
curious.
is great. I don't like
Horizon-
the Horizon's cool because you drive around everywhere. Whereas
open world,
Motorsport,
yeah.
you're like, nope, you're racing on
Oh,
this
it's
track.
like an open world that you can drive
Yeah.
around and crash into people with.
Exactly.
We should have.
about
And you
my
do
whole
drive
life.
avatars and stuff. It's really fun.
It's too bad we didn't record this all those years ago playing Project Cars. We played Project Cars.
Oh,
together,
yeah,
and we were
yeah.
like, we did like this Formula One circuit with like 50cc go karts, this huge track, and we're like,
David, I just want to let you know, it's
Yeah.
not like we don't own those games anymore.
Yeah,
it
no,
still
it's
exists. They're done.
Someone came in and deleted
I
it. All the
They went
digital
into
copies.
Microsoft. They were like, no, he has no.
Like,
By
I
the
mean,
way,
like-
that's a part of Humble Bundle. I have it on PC as well.
but
So,
I mean,
like,
but I
own
mean, it's
that
like
stupid game
that
twice.
race was ridiculous because it's just two go karts on this massive.
Yeah,
Indy
Formula.
cars. Yeah,
like
Formula
one
One.
track.
Instead of using like a go kart track, and Ryan's like flipping over and all.
That was when mechanics of flipping over apparently existed, because at PAX, Jameson broke Project Cars 2 when he flipped over his car, and we asked the developer, we're like, hey, is that supposed to happen? Do we get any? Because there was like this complete the track in X amount of time and win a prize or whatever, and we're like, do we get anything because he flipped the car over? And the developer's like, oh wow, I didn't know you could do that. And I'm like, wait, what? What is
Y'all are regressing.
Yo, what's happening? You need to delay the game. See, full circle. So we're all getting back.
Beautiful.
And you need to get on a train. You need to jump off of it.
I would
There's your
laugh if
PUBG.
they actually delayed it for that. Look, listen, this one man, he flipped the car. What are we supposed to do?
Do we make that a part of the thing? And like just like
We have car flips.
but yeah, I don't know, the library thing is an issue, like, and then it even comes to like when you go to a store. I don't know, is it like just a mentality of like nowadays that like I guess the kids are grown up now, so it's like I can buy any game I want and I can do whatever I want with my money.
Oh,
and so
that
I'm
was
just gonna buy
absolutely
so
part of
much.
That was absolutely part of it. The second I got a debit card,
It was over.
it was over.
You got that paycheck. You're like, I can buy every game.
Oh, it was over. Yeah, like half of like I would say like probably before I had a debit card, like I had 30 games on Steam, and that was for like 2 years. I was
Same.
rocking playing like the free games. Like if you look at like the hours played on most of my games, I have like 2,000 some odd hours in Dota because it's free. And I was just like, oh, the hustle is real.
Yeah.
And like once I got money, I was like, dang, look at all these games. There's so many games out here on this platform.
Yeah, it was like as soon as I got the Telltale code, where I got all the Telltale games, I was like, well, I gotta buy the rest of the Telltale games when they come out.
then you were
And then
addicted,
I started getting exactly. I got they
Give
gave
me the
me the
games.
whole bag, and now I'm just getting the little rock now.
Yeah.
So it's like, but then from there, then Humble Bundle was like, we have a monthly service now, and I'm like, yeah, it's $12. I'll toss them $12 a month.
Right?
It goes to charity, like whatever. And then now I'm just like sitting at almost 300 games, and I'm like,
Yeah.
where did that go? Like, how
Yeah.
much money have I spent for
Mhm.
2 years? But yeah,
But I think it's always cool though because like I have such a big library that like I'll go to buy a game and I'll be like, oh, this game looks cool, and then I'm
I
like, oh,
own
I
it?
own it. We're in
Wait,
it.
I owned this 3 years ago.
Wow. But it's also cool because like with Humble Bundle and stuff, like you get games that you wouldn't have gone out of your way to buy, and so
That's
like
true.
you're just like,
Yeah,
oh
that's
well,
true.
I'm just gonna
I
give
will-
this a shot. You
Yeah,
know?
I will tell you like getting some games and some games for cheap during the sales. Yeah, there's games that I remember I got really into the Dirt series because that's how I will tell you this. That is how I got into Mass Effect. Because Mass Effect 1 well, I mean, you guys know
lost
how
me.
much. No, you guys
Wait.
know how. Well, yeah, I just clicked in
When
my
you
head.
got a David over here and you got
Yeah.
Mass Effect over here.
Yeah.
Where's John?
Mass Effect 1 was like $5
Yeah.
on an Xbox Live spring
Yeah,
clean
there's
sale.
spring sale, winter
And-
sale for the Australian people.
And that was when I picked it. I bought it. I was like, oh sure, whatever, $5. I'll try it. And yeah, I immediately after spending that $5 got me to spend all whatever it took me to get all the DLC for 1, 2. All the DLC for 2, right? And I did this like back to back.
Yeah.
This wasn't like I didn't wait for any
You
period.
had to,
This
like,
just isn't,
mortgage the house and stuff.
I burned. Yeah, basically, I just binged on Mass Effect for like 3 months. Just the first one and all the DLC, the second one with all the DLC, and then this was right after they just finished all the DLC for 3. When this happened, and I literally spent like probably like $120 on just Mass Effect games and Mass Effect DLC in a matter of like a couple months because I bought Mass Effect for $5 on sale.
Yeah.
So why did you lead with Dirt?
Yeah. So when you got Dirt and you got Mass Effect, this is where the
Because
connection.
I picked up Dirt 2, I believe, on the same sale. I picked up
Okay.
Mass Effect
Okay.
and Dirt 2 on the same
That makes
sale,
sense.
and then being reminded of Dirt because I
Shepard
would.
was a DLC character for Dirt, and I was like, this guy looks cool.
But
I wonder if he has his own game.
mentioning Dirt reminded me of
Gotcha,
Mass Effect,
okay.
and then Mass Effect I can tell you had a bigger impact on me than Dirt.
But you led with Dirt.
Yeah,
I
we
led with
had
Dirt.
we
And
had
then
to get from A to Z, but it was we had
I
to get
like
through
Mass
B,
Effect,
C,
but-
D.
Yeah.
So in actuality, you're a big Dirt fan.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
see, I have all
think
this
about
Dirt
it.
merchandise. all
Dirt
around.
reminded you of Mass Effect, so
Yeah.
you led with Dirt.
Yeah.
So clearly, it made a bigger impact.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
David, what a fake fan. Probably didn't like Mass Effect.
It's a cover up.
He played
It's a
3
co-
minutes.
if you walk into his room, he has all these little cars around
He has a Dirt tattoo.
him. Specifically,
Yeah,
Dirt 2.
Why you gotta put down his tattoo? It's what it means to him, not what it means to you. Okay.
Well, why did it turn on me? You were just making fun of him.
I was just stating facts. You're the one who was sort of laughing at him.
I was just
I think your
questioning
tattoo is
why.
cool.
I was just questioning why it was specifically the second one, not just the franchise. Is your cheeks hurting as much as mine are? Oh my god.
But yeah, that's how we go from Dirt to Mass Effect.
Okay, great.
5
But yeah.
degrees of separation.
But yeah, but then again, I would have never played Dirt 2 if it wasn't on sale. So
Yeah.
Great. All right. Okay.
Yeah, we were talking about something.
yeah,
Free games. Yeah, no, I definitely I think it's a good bad thing to have all those games because you're like, great, I have all these things and they're giving me they're letting me have these for free, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, like I have all of these games that I'll probably never play or I'll just never.
It's freaking
remotely
scary
look
to
at.
scroll through your library and there's just like all these things that you're like, and
Yeah.
you just like start sweating.
No,
You're just
I bought all these like
hyperventilating.
I have the disc versions. I've almost filled up like a full like 60 disc like CD case of all of these games, and I'm like, I don't know what happened. Like, where am I gonna get rid of all these? But
throw them like frisbees.
that's what, yeah. That's
but
why
then
you-
I'll never play them.
That's
Problem
why
solved.
yeah, just get hooked on one MMO and then you're all set.
Yeah, and then I'll never play a game again.
Yeah.
What do you guys? I mean, this is kind of off topic. But
Yeah.
What is the game you guys have spent the most time in? I mean, obviously.
Oh,
it's
are we
gonna
going
probably
into
be
a
an
fourth
MMO.
topic?
Oh, sure, why not?
Oh, breaking new grounds.
Oh, man.
I told you, I'm the host now. Welcome to the show, guys. Thanks for coming over.
Just taking over everything.
Let's talk about games that we spent the most time in.
Oh, man.
The only game, well, I don't know. I'm gonna have to say it's hard for me because I play a lot of MMOs,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna have to probably say I've put more playtime in Final Fantasy 11, just because they keep track of your playtime.
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
I remember how much playtime.
Well, now
I have on it.
PlayStation will keep track of your playtime
Yeah. That's-
during playing. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
It'd be like, you've
Oh.
been playing for 14 hours.
You
You
Because
need
I
help.
Great.
Because I
you have
know-
a full beard. Like it's just
I
nothing
know,
else.
'cause,
Go
like,
outside.
Because I know I've put thousands of hours. I know I've put literal thousands of hours into Skyrim across all the platforms that I've played it on. But I know I've put more time in WoW. But I don't know how much time I've put in WoW.
Right.
But and that's just because all my time is spread across my characters. Whereas in Final Fantasy 11, I only had one character because you can play all the jobs on one
Right.
character. And so I don't know if my WoW time beats my Final Fantasy 11 time. I spent more years in WoW playing WoW, but I'm pretty sure I spent more time.
That's a
playing-
great
playing
increment of
Final-
time.
Yeah,
It's
I think
like,
Times playing
I've spent
WoW.
a couple years.
I seriously think I've spent more years playing WoW, but I think I've put more time in the 4 years I played Final Fantasy 11, because I played Final Fantasy 11 for 4 years, about 4 years, and I logged 665 played days.
Jeez.
Played days, so times that times 24 to get the
Yeah,
hours.
That's crazy.
And I think the most played days I have on a single character in WoW, I think, is a little over 100. But again, I have, I think I,
only. Oh,
but
you
I
know.
have like so many characters in WoW that I've
Right,
never
right.
actually gone through and have like added up my playtime. So
You really should.
Yeah, take that time. Do it.
So I think for
I
me,
mean, you already invested like how many days? What's one more?
Yeah, exactly. Just calculating.
It's weird for me to think of Final Fantasy 11 because literally in that 4 year period, I spent a whole year of that 4 year period in that game.
Right.
Because I can only guess. I'm gonna say about maybe 20 play days of that time was probably my character just being me AFK and the character just sitting there.
Right. Yeah,
You
that
know?
happens a lot for like a lot of games where like I have like a lot of time played. It usually is because like I forget that it's on and it's just like sitting in the background, or like my friends will play like a Dota match and then we'll just shoot the breeze for like 4 hours, and then
Yeah.
I just have Dota sitting there and I'm really just
Yeah.
chatting with my friends, but then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wait,
Yeah. So I'm ballparking that maybe between 20 and 30 of those play days in 11 is just my character just sitting there doing nothing.
for me it's hard because like before things actually tracked your time,
You had a little stopwatch.
Yeah, and
doing
I
times,
would like write it down.
Excel spreadsheet.
And so I have like notebooks filled with the amount of times now. Like I played a lot of Warcraft 3, which is funny because I can't stand RTSs now, but maybe it's because I'm burnt out. But I didn't really like Warcraft 3 for like the main game. I mean, it was fun, but like I never played it competitively. I played like all the custom games and stuff. And I would literally play that like after school for like just hours and hours, and that was the only game I played for like a year. So, but like it never tracked my time, so like it's hard to say which games you have a lot of time in, because like I also played a lot of Halo 2, but that didn't track your time either. And like I like, because for a while that was like the only game I played for like a couple of years, and like so I would be like playing it with like my brother or whoever came over for like hours and hours and hours, but like it didn't track time, so it's hard to say.
So just by kind of guessing, you're not able to like narrow down one game.
Not
maybe?
really. Honestly, I mean, the one that I can calculate is like Dota, because like I have over 2,000 hours in that, and I mean that's pretty big. That's hard to beat, But like I play a lot of different games. Like I have like a couple.
What's the most played dating sim you have?
Dragons with Scaly Wings.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
that takes a long time to get through.
If you played as much.
Are
as I do.
there things in there?
I'm just saying there's some beautiful dragons. That's all. They're all buff, scaly dragons.
Oh, okay. It's one of those things.
I'm not saying
it's like the Dove game.
No. I didn't like that. The Dove game is dumb.
But this has dragons in it.
Yeah, does the Dove game have dragons in it?
It has doves.
Doves weren't dragons, right? All right. Cool.
I was just checking to make sure, like, what this specific one is. But it is in the form of you are dating dragons.
Yeah.
Actual dragons.
Dragons.
Not like
They're like
humanoid dragons. Actual dragons.
They are actual dragons, yeah. But they're kind of like anthropomorphized, like they like to walk around and stuff.
I'm sorry. I was just
Why
like
is that so
trying.
funny?
I'm trying to picture this like weird like
Why is he the
creature.
host? You sound more
I
professional.
get it.
You get it?
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I get it. Yeah.
Oh my god. I have been recommended
That
a few
was a lie.
dating sims.
That's all lies.
What?
What?
A few dating sims that to play on the channel, and I'm very scared to even.
Just go with like
To
a
even-
classic honey
They're
pop
fun.
or something.
But it's just what?
Vintage.
Yeah.
The classic.
Yeah.
The creme de la creme. There is some naughty bits in that game.
Yeah, there is.
No, it never gets naughty. You don't see any like.
You don't
things
hear
that should
any
be on
like
Bad Dragon or
sounds
anything like that.
Oh, there's what?
Bad Dragon? You guys don't? All right, never mind.
Oh my god.
What about you, Ryan? What game do you think you've put more playtime into?
Man, I don't know. It's like I play so many games, so it's like hard to. Like, it's the same thing. It's hard to keep track of.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of the games that we've all played together. So like, no, I think I know. GTA 5 is probably the most played game I have, just because we probably at this point, because it's like I've played GTA so many times, and then we do it on the streams, and we do like I clock in the hours there, and it and then as well as I guess Halo 5 for a while was that, but then I never really got too into it. I'm trying to get a little into it because I just want to like become better at first-person shooters, and I feel like that's probably one of the best to Halo 5 specifically because it's even. It not is AF is that that's not AFPS?
No.
No,
I'm
he
just
said
saying.
you
Oh
start
no,
playing
no!
them.
I'll get obliterated. I gotta
then
start
you'll get
slow.
better.
By learning from my
Dude, I
failures
jumped
No,
in-
and
I
and my
jumped in-
salty tears.
I jumped in head first. That's like learning how to swim when your
Yeah.
dad just throws you in the
Yeah,
pool and says
the
sink or
best way to
swim.
get
Yeah.
the best way to get better is to play against
Yeah,
people better than
absolutely.
you.
Dude, okay.
That's why I'm playing Halo. That's the MLG Pro circuit right there.
You need to jump in at the extreme. That's what I'm saying. You need to play a game where
That's
the
too
learning curve
extreme.
is like backwards and it's like curling out. That's what you need to play. And then once you can beat that, everything else is easy.
Oh my
You're
god.
like, oh, dude, this is child's play from what I've been
No,
through.
you should play like,
I've been through the
You're like a grizzled
No,
warrior.
you should
yeah,
play
you
like,
back in Nam. No,
you should try like Siege or something over Halo.
Yeah,
Siege-
I'd say
Siege on
Siege.
Halo?
I'd say Siege.
Siege
What's
is pretty.
Siege?
Rainbow Six Siege?
Oh, see, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I do have it on PC. I do
Yo, we
have
should
that on
play
crazy. Yeah, I mean, it is. I do like it,
I
but
have
the
a lot of
problem
time
is
in that game too.
the problem is no one plays it with me. So I guess if
I
there
played
you
it by
go,
myself
there you
all the
go.
time. I gotta play like rank. I think I'm like ranked like
Saddest
80
story ever.
something.
I bought
never
the
played it
gold
competitive.
edition of that
Is this a
game.
cry for help, David?
No, I'm fine playing solo. No, I don't mind.
Cool.
I don't mind pugging it up.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
I mean,
no,
if you want to come play on Xbox with me, I'm down. But
It's always on sale. That's one of those games
Not
that's always on
anymore.
sale.
It's
What?
going back
yeah,
up.
it's
Yeah.
they actually upped the price.
They're
There's a
upping
big,
the price.
There's a big controversy
Yeah.
about that right now.
well, it's
The
it's going
original
back
one?
to 60.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Going
yeah,
back
for the
to 60.
complete edition. No,
No.
for the
Yeah.
regular.
But
Yeah.
you get like loot box stuff and
Oh,
Rainbow
they're
Six
doing
Siege
the they're
and
doing the
credit.
Overwatch
yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
Well, they've had the loot box packs for a while, but you're getting like 10 of those, and then you're also getting Rainbow Six Siege bucks or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Rainbow Six.
But the thing is like it does. I wish it was like the year 2 or something where like they gave you the game plus the operators for a particular season. But this is
Yeah.
just the base game with
Not even
like some
including any of
credits.
the
Yeah, not even including.
Yeah,
any
this
of the
sounds like an
DLC
Overwatch because
operators.
like when they did with Overwatch, when you bought the Origins edition, it dropped to like $40, and then they re-released this
Game of the
whole
Year
like
edition
and now
with
it's
a
$60 again.
right where you got like all these extra loot boxes.
Yeah, you didn't get the Widowmaker skin though.
No,
That
we
was
did not.
interesting. That was the pre-order bonus.
Yeah.
so.
That's absurd.
And I have it for PC and for
What a
what you call
loser.
it. Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Because I fell into that one. I actually traded in a whole bunch of games to get Rainbow Six Siege, and I bought the gold edition for like $8, and I played it, and I was like, "This is awesome." And then everyone stopped playing it, and I was like, "All right, well, I guess I'm not playing this game
Oh,
anymore."
dude, yeah.
Oh.
I still
Same
have
with
people
Wildlands. Well,
that
I got Wildlands with my graphics card, but that was really like no one plays
That game was
either.
kind of smelly. I played the open beta, and I was like, I'm not interested. Sorry.
I'm a pass.
Yeah, I was just like this is cool and all, but I'm out. Same with the Division. Like I played the beta for the Division too, and I was just like, this kind of
Yeah, I played the beta for the Division and I thought it was terrible.
I paid
Yeah.
I paid $8 for the Division, and
Yeah,
then
you wasted $8.
I still haven't played it.
So I was right.
Yeah.
You owe me a
There's a
steak
lot
dinner.
of those games that are just sitting there and I haven't played. Like Mario Odyssey, still sitting there, haven't played that
I'll
stupid
take
game.
your Switch off your hands and play it. I've been wanting that, but I'm too poor.
One day,
No,
you'll get there. Maybe if you
I'm
stop
getting more poor.
paying for the Steam games every
You might be right.
Mr. Grand over there. Yeah, I don't know where my time would be put in. I think it's just the ones that we play in spurts. So like Smite or where League of Legends had
Right,
enough
where it's like
time. and it's
everyday
like,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
those are the games
And
that
it
I
just-
probably
it
have
just
a
adds
more.
up over
But
time, yeah.
probably overall is probably GTA 5. Just I've played a lot of that.
For me, like a lot of my games also that have a lot of time in them, because like I said, I watch a lot of movies. I have a dual monitor setup,
oh,
so
okay.
they're games that I can play while watching a movie, and then the game is kind of secondary.
Mhm.
So like the reason I have so much time on Dota is because I play a custom game called Gem TD, which is just a tower defense. But I just play it.
What?
So,
They have a tower defense in that game?
yeah, they've got custom games.
Wow, that's
Like
crazy.
it's like Warcraft 3. Like I was saying, like I would only play the custom games in
Yeah.
Warcraft 3. Like so they have like a bunch of custom games, but Gem TD is a remake of one of my favorite TDs, tower defenses from Warcraft 3, and it's like really good. And so like a lot of times I'm just playing that and watching a movie, and like since it's like a tower defense, you're not really place
You're not
the
very
thing.
Yeah, you're
active.
just
You're
like
not really
dragging
active, and then
stuff
it's just,
over.
like, and then you just sit here and like everything's dying. So I just basically mute that, have it playing in the background, and then like watch my movie, and that's how I waste a lot of time. So because I'm like a lot when it comes to movies for me, like I said, I just pick anything. So like a lot of times I'll just put something in that I'm like not even interested in, and then if it hooks me, and then I'm just end up watching the movie, and then it's just like, all right, well this game could just screw off then. So.
Sometimes you find those. I like Netflix has became that like blockbuster Hollywood video
Yeah.
where it's
Yeah,
like
for me,
those B-rated, almost like
Oh, I
how
love
the
it.
hell did they get backing
I love it.
movies?
Mhm.
I watch those movies too. The horror movies as ones that I am more fond of because I think they're more abundant of finding like a really low budget horror movie.
Oh, they're
but
great.
yeah, sometimes they're
We should
really
watch some awful movies. I can blow your mind.
good. Well, we start our own like what is that? Riff tracks or like it's The
Why can't I just
Mystery
watch
Science
movies with you?
Theater.
Why do you got to try to monetize everything?
Because we gotta get there. You gotta get the grind going.
Maybe I just want to watch movies with my friends. You just make it this greedy.
I have
thing.
to make money.
That's why I'm not the host.
You gotta make those business
I
decisions.
think with my heart too much. This guy's trying to pay the bills. I'm just trying to love things over here.
Exactly. Where do you get when you just love things? Nowhere.
I've gotten
Really quiet.
I've gotten this far. Like, now I'm just sad. I didn't come on this to be bullied. Like, if you told me that I was just going to be bullied the whole time, I wouldn't have come. I could have been at home watching movies
and playing Dota on your dual monitor system.
playing Gem TV while I ignore the movie. Yeah. So there you go.
There
I
you
gotta
go.
go, guys.
This is it.
That sounds way better.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to actually complete it. It's over now. Riley, how did you enjoy your time here? As honest as it was.
Just awful.
Awful time.
Never
All right.
You
For the
guys
future
beg.
people that are like questioning on whether or not they should guest star, you're the first person,
No,
so you have
leave.
to leave. Don't pick up the phone. Nothing.
Have something that day. Oh, that day? Sorry.
But I didn't tell you what day.
Sorry. Like, my mom has a herniated.
Herniated.
Yes.
Okay, that was quite a dirt and Mass Effect. No, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. If you are listening to the audio version of this, you can on iTunes, and for the Android listeners, Podbean, or if you don't like iTunes, I guess you can download it for Android or Apple as well. But we have an audio version of this podcast, so you can go and download that, or you've already done that. But if you want to watch the video version of this and see our faces, I don't know why. Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm here.
That's true. Yeah, you can see who this person is. You can go over to youtube.com and just search Primal Target. It is a logo that, it's a logo. I don't really know how else to describe it. I don't really know how to.
Sweet logo. I made it.
I didn't make it, actually. Someone, a friend of mine made it, so it's pretty cool though. But yeah, also there's many more videos over there on YouTube, and you can check us out over there on twitch.tv/primal_target, where you can see Ashton and I and many more to possibly come in the future play some games over there as well. Are you on any social media?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
Actually,
not.
that's the truth. I don't do social
He
media,
doesn't
so-
either, so
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
Right, I
Dude.
got fellow old man.
no,
with me.
it's
No, I just don't do it. I don't care about
yeah.
people.
you used to.
Okay, yeah, I used to, and then I
Exactly.
realized I never used it, so I deleted it.
No, it still exists.
I closed it. I don't know how to delete it. I did what I could.
You just when you hit log off, that doesn't
No, no,
just
no, no,
that's
no,
not it.
I pressed like close account or whatever for Facebook, and it just was like, all right, your account is closed. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm done. But then you tell me, I thought it was closed this entire time, and you blew my mind.
No, it's there. I swear it's there.
It's like a graveyard, probably. Like, I haven't been on it.
People still wish you happy birthday.
Really?
Yeah, because I got the notification a month ago with saying like, oh yeah, you can wish Riley a happy birthday. I'm like, weird. So I clicked on it and everyone's wishing happy birthday
what's
for like
funny?
the past 4 years.
You know what's so funny? It's like that's why I hate Facebook, because it's like these people don't care about
They
me.
all think
They
you're
just want to talk about me on my birthday.
and then you look like an asshole.
Yeah, because
for
you're not responding.
replying.
Yeah, where's your stupid thumbs up? You're not thumbsing up anybody.
You guys aren't important enough. I've moved on. You all should too. You guys don't even like me. So screw social media. Thank you.
Do you want to? I don't even know what you want. Like any final words, I guess, for
No,
yourself.
no. Thanks for having me. This is actually super fun.
Okay,
In
okay.
all honesty, it wasn't awful.
We'll see what happens if you come back or not. You know, we'll see what.
That's up to me. You guys are gonna be
Yeah, I was gonna say. Like, yeah.
No,
guys
it's
are
not.
gonna- You guys are gonna be begging, and I'll be like, oh man, that
Yeah,
herniated
the one
disc my mom had. Sorry,
The-
it's flaring up again.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you, David. Thank you, Riley.
Mhm.
My name is Ryan. We'll see you guys
Thank
in
you,
the next
Ryan.
episode. Good night, everybody.
Good night.